be a little bossy also at that time. Didn't know what I was doing properly. But, I could do things rightly in the sense of the work. So I guess that's why I was a little bit bossy. But, so it built confidence in me. And my dad's office and home was together. So, it was seeing men, working with men was not intimidating for me, because we always passed through the office into the house. We saw the men around. For a lot of women, that gets very intimidating. So when I went to PSG college, Kiran had postgraduated from there, master's. But clearly we didn't see each other in college. He's 2 years my senior. And after I finished, I was in my first year college, and my mother-in-law called one of the lecturers there and said, could you recommend anybody? And my name was given. And when ma'am told me, I was like, why me? There are so many women in Hyderabad. I just been to Hyderabad once before then. Always Chennai and Bangalore are the closest towns to us. She said, I think you're good and you'll fit Kiran. I know Kiran. And she was very fond of Kiran, more fonder of Kiran than me. To talk, because we both came from the same college, so much to talk easily. And then, we always debate on this. He always says, I asked you that you have to be a working woman. I always say, no, I told you that I want to be a working woman. So we keep debating about it. Probably we've forgotten, we don't know who is right, but still anyway, it matched our requirements. I was very clear that I have to be a working woman, because I grew up thinking that I have to have a career of my own. And as Pinky said, being a homemaker is a very, very tough job, because being a businesswoman, I'm not saying it's easy. At least you have your agenda, you have your program, and you're working, and you're trying to take everybody along with you. But, making your kids do what you want them to do is not so easy. And also taking care of elders at home, it's definitely a big task, being so patient and being so caring, loving, and giving up all of yourself for them is definitely a big task. And I always appreciate homemakers for that. So since I had said that I want to be a working woman, and after marriage, my father-in-law also knew about it, and he is a very, very broad thinking person, very, very, and very different from the regular people that you meet up with. His value systems are at the helm. So it's sometimes, very, and we, never done anything to break the rules and regulations of the law. So it's really very difficult to be 100% law abiding and still be successful. It's a big task on its own. And then, by then Kiran was into media, and we have the Dolphin Hotels and Vizag, and the Usha Kiran movies were there, movies being taken. So, they thought that Margdarshit Fund would be the best for me, and it was to do with finance and accounts. And let me admit that I'm not very great at my math, So I was like a bit jittery, but then at the same time, I was like, if I don't take it up, then I won't get a chance to work, I always make it a point to share this thing, because sometimes you may not get to do what you want to do in life, but whatever comes across, please accept it and please work hard, and then you can definitely be successful. So for 6 months I was at home, and it started getting really boring. And then my father-in-law, the only thing that he told me is, Sailaja, like, you're going into an organization which is already 25 years old, and there are, very senior colleagues who are already 50, 55 years old, and you're a youngster. It will be very difficult for them to change anything. They will not change. So you will have to accept them as they are and start working with them. I think that was the greatest piece of advice that I could have got, because that was always there at the back of my mind. I told you I was a little bit bossy in my office back home, because I saw all of them right from the time I was 10 years old, uncle, and, so it really helped me, So they were all 55, 60 years old, and really good at math also, I have to say that. And, for 1.5 years, it was like just quietly observing everything, laying my hands on every file possible, trying to know everything that the company went through all the 25 years. So that gave me an edge because I knew what the company is all about, what they did, how they did, and then I knew that I was given a fantastic company, with great financial integrity, and it was already a household name in Andhra Pradesh, and there was tremendous goodwill and trust that this company enjoyed. Only thing is, it wasn't leveraged to more and more people. So I thought that, this company can give value to so many lives. We can do so much to them and to better their lives and to make things happen in their lives. So that is what inspired me to move out of Hyderabad to several districts. So from about 11 branches, we built it to 105 branches today. And that's how, everywhere we went, they said, "You're late, you should have come much earlier." That was the feedback, tremendous response from people, acceptance. But yes, so my father-in-law used to be walking at 4 a.m. in the morning in the terrace, and he would see me sitting in the car going out, So he knew that I really worked hard, he had seen me do that. Which is why I knew that he saw me working, and that's why probably I had the guts to ask him for my car. And
it's just that she stole the thunder, I think, by a few months. My targets were going a little slow. So by the time I got my mug, it was about 1 year down the lane.
Yeah.
My targets were tougher to achieve. And I'm proud of her for that, because she's
I couldn't have had a better husband than Kiran, because he never asked me why I was coming at 9 p.m. in the night, why I was getting delayed, why I was leaving at 6 a.m. in the morning. There were times I would just go to Chennai or to somewhere else. He wouldn't even know that I've left the house in the morning, because he had his hectic schedules and I did mine. Sometimes we wouldn't be able to talk in the nights to even share where I was going, and there were times when people asked him where she was, and he would say, probably she's in Hyderabad.
Back to my own father, I sometimes had very funny situation. He would ask me, "Is Sailaja around? I want to talk to her." "I don't know, Dad. I think she's probably traveling." So imagine in a family living in the same house. So that's how committed she was to work.
That's to answer you how I could. And the second part of your question, I don't know.
The second question was that you've scaled up, and you've scaled up like wow.
Yeah.
So during the course of this, because I'm sure not necessarily from family, but you would have had a lot of men folk.
Yes.
Who would have to deal with you in a very contrary way, because you must be coming in with a lot of iconic, out of the box ideas. And so how did you kind of push through that? I mean, how did you get them on the bandwagon rather than getting pushed back?
See, that can happen. You see the opportunity. Not that every man can see it, I'm sorry to say it, but it is your ambition, your aggressiveness, your desire to do something big, to achieve something in life. That makes the difference. That is what makes you see something else that everybody can't see. So when my first daughter was born, in '93, I took off for a year to take care of her. And people already started talking in the office that, okay, that's it, she's done, she's gone, she's not going to come back, because it was a long break of 1 year. So after 1 year, I came back, she was a little grown up. So you do have to make your compromises with family front, and especially the first child, because that is the actual growth phase. So when I used to make calls to her, sometimes she used to cry over the phone, and then she was okay till then, and I made her cry with my phone call. So I stopped calling, probably not to make her cry, but then all these things happen in everybody's life if you're focused on work. I feel that many women stop there at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. They just want to get back home because family is first for them, and many families, they're so dependent on the woman to take care of the family, that they can't let go of her for better things to do. So if, probably if support is given, like how Kiran supported me, how my father-in-law supported me, how my entire family, my kids, everybody supported me, it is possible for many more women to really do the best and be many more options for companies like Scient, the first question was how many women are into chit funds, you said, right? If you actually look at unorganized sector, chit funds in a big way is in the unorganized sector. So if you look at that, lots and lots of women. I mean, I've seen my mom being in a chit fund, my aunts being in chit funds. Actually, the percentage of failures actually are very less, if you see. If you're seeing how banks are also not doing very well, so that percentage always, every business, there is probably 30-40% failure. So is the case in chit funds also, probably lesser in fact. So in an organized chit fund, it is definitely more secure for you because we have a deposit that we keep, equivalent to the turnover that we do. We keep deposits with the registrar of chit funds, and we are highly regulated. So there are monthly returns to be filed for every single chit group that we conduct. We have about 7,500 chit groups servicing about 4 lakh people, and disbursing about 700 crores a month. And every month we have to file returns, who's the successful bidder and who's been paid and what are the outstandings, all of this. So definitely chit funds are a good option because I generally don't promote, the company or anything. But what I believe is, it's very important for every person to have a lifelong financial partner, somebody, some institution, which can be your lifelong financial partner. That is very important because life is full of necessities, emergencies, and definitely chits can take care of your necessities and take care of emergencies, because this is one option where you invest less and get a very big amount when you really need it. So we do have a lot of women also, but the percentage is less because there are less women working. We've all seen the, statistics just now, Monred Garu showed you. But there are a lot of women who are partners with husbands, so the chits are taken in their name. So as long as all the parameters are met, whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter for us. Because we are disbursing public funds, we abide by certain norms. And I mean, it all depends on your relationship. Well, we have very good relationship, but my account remains mine's and Kiran's account remains Kiran's. So I can't say, no, don't give it to your husband.
She has more money in her account than my account.
No. So, well.
If I have to go for a big loan, I know where to go to. Interest-free loan.
No. It's Kiran who's always spending on me, never me. Okay? So that's why I have more funds in my account. Yeah.